start today with the Packers beating the Commanders. The Packers are now 2-0. And my big takeaway from last night's game is that the defense, or the Packers defense, looks like it's got a chance to ascend to becoming an elite unit. You got to give the defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley, a lot of credit for how they've looked through 2 weeks. They don't even have Micah Parsons in a full-time role yet. They're doing this minus Kenny Clark, a guy they'd planned to have, and a guy that they traded with less than 2 weeks to go until the start of the regular season. And then you look at the opponents this is happening against. It's happening against Washington and Detroit, two teams that were in the divisional round of the NFC playoffs a year ago. And in both those games, the Packers were able to hold the offense out of the end zone through 3 quarters. And if we're being honest about it, the touchdowns that were scored in those games were kind of garbage time touchdowns against defensive looks to try to play the string out and get the team to the end of the game. So I think you have to give the Packers a lot of credit for the way they put this together on the fly. Micah Parsons should only become a bigger part of what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball. I think you're starting to see his presence benefit guys like Lucas Van Ness and Rashawn Gary. Don't forget they've got 3 first-round picks on the defensive line before adding Micah Parsons in Van Ness, Gary, and then, of course, Devontae Wyatt on the inside. They were hoping that Edgerrin Cooper, their second-year linebacker, would take a leap, and that looks like it's starting to happen now. This has the look of a group, when you look front to back, that could be part of a championship team. And the one question remaining for me right now with the Packers defense is what's happening at corner. And so through 2 weeks, it's looked okay with Keyshawn Nixon, with Nate Hobbs, with Carrington Valentine back there. Is that going to sustain through the year? That was the big question coming into training camp. That I think remains the big question now. How is that going to hold up over the course of time? But so far, so good. They look great defensively. Maybe there's a midseason move for a corner in them. Then I think on the other side of the ball, you see the offense starting to come along a little bit. Jaden Reed, before he got hurt, looked like a guy like he's ready to take a step forward. Dotavian Wicks is the guy they've got high hopes for, and Tucker Kraft looks like one of the best tight ends in football, which they were telling you during training camp they thought he could get to that level. So again, the big question with the Packers coming into this year was, could a bunch of their most important players elevate from good to great? Well, they added a great player in Micah Parsons. And now I think with guys like Cooper and Kraft, we're seeing some of their players elevate. Really excited where the Packers are coming out of week 2. They go to Cleveland in week 3. And then in week 4, they've got that showdown in Dallas with Micah Parsons' old team.